This is going to be another interview episode today, and this time I'm going to be talking to the wonderful Hrafnhildur from Iceland, aka Habba. Hrafnhildur specialises in hand poke. As far as I know, I don't think she's ever tattooed with machine, which is pretty incredible. She's an amazing tattoo artist and a very good friend of mine, so it's an absolute pleasure to get to interview her, so let's get into it. All right, Hrafnhildur, let's do this. How you keeping?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. So I will just begin by saying that some people know you as Habba Nero, and others, such as myself, know your true name, Hrafnhildur.
My secret name.
Exactly. So obviously you are Icelandic, and it's an Icelandic name. Would you start off by telling us what your name means?
So my name is put together by two words. It's Hrafn, which means raven, and Hildur, that is an Old Norse word for battlefield. So like it's the feminine version of that. So you could say it means Valkyrie or like a battle woman. So obviously it's very cool. And I started out by calling myself Raven Valkyrie on like Instagram and all those platforms, but I realized it was way too hot topic, so I changed it.
Yeah, it's so bloody cool. I love it. I know. Well, yeah, I think we discussed this before, though, about the fact that you're actually, you know, naturally very, very blonde, and there you are, like named after a raven.
Yeah. So my grandmother was not happy about that. But now I'm probably more dark than I am. Like, you know, my skin is more dark than it is fair, so maybe it's fitting.
Yeah. Well, we are both on a track to getting quite heavily tattooed. I don't know about you, but I certainly... well, I always knew I was going to have tattoos, but I never like sort of consciously said, I'm going to be like 90% covered. And now I'm about 50% covered, and I just think, yeah, still got lots of ideas of things I'd really, really like to have done.
It's definitely a never-ending story. Like, as soon as you fill in some part of your body, you think, oh, what can I do to maybe do a blast over? Or, you know, maybe I can do some white on this. So, I don't think we're ever going to be finished.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, if they don't know, myself and Hrafnhildur, we are both tattooers. So we will both have heard that classic line. We hear lots of classic lines, but one of them is, "Oh yeah, I only intend on getting this one, and then I'm done." And I'm like, yeah, we'll see.
Just wait. Just wait until we're done with this tattoo, then you'll see.
You know, people say they're addictive. In no way do I think, yeah, you get addicted to the pain. I think you get addicted to the idea of thinking, like, you know, it's that whole thing of it's Pandora's box. It opens the possibilities of what you could adorn yourself with.
I absolutely hate getting tattooed. I really, really hate it. But as soon as that needle or like that machine goes on the table, I just want to keep going. Want to do another one and another one. Just keep going.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so interesting about it, isn't it? It's the thing that you can't remember. Like, this is what I've been told, and I think it's true to a degree at least. You can't remember pain. We are hardwired not to remember it, because otherwise we wouldn't want to do anything that could be a little bit scary. But you know, I don't know about you, but I remember thinking, okay, that tattoo, like say on my sternum, you know, that was fucking awful. And I just remember thinking, I never want to do this ever again. That's the worst ever, but I can't quite remember it. But it still doesn't stop me from wanting to have more.
Well, you kind of did that to me with the elbow ditch and, you know, the wrists and the rest of it. It's just with awful. But I can't wait to get my next tattoo. I'm just counting down the days, and it's been really hard to, you know, get all my tattoos done, because usually I get I think at least 8 sessions a year.
Yeah.
But now, since I'm stuck in Iceland, I only get like a few so often because I'm lucky enough to work with some amazing people, like our friend Seva. And at least she can do a little bit for me.
She does some beautiful work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually just tattooing her face today.
No way. What'd you do?
Yeah. I did some forehead adornments. And I already did her cheeks, like you've probably seen.
Yeah.
And added to her forehead, and you'll probably be able to see that on my Instagram quite soon.
Very cool. Lovely.
So that's exciting. Yeah. So stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, especially tattooing on another tattooist as well, because the pressure just goes through the roof, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially friends and tattooers who absolutely trust you 100%. Is like, oh, okay, so you can't even say, oh, I don't think that will look good, because they just go like, yeah, let's do it. And you're like, oh my god, maybe it will just look terrible. But luckily it didn't. It was fun.
Awesome. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, so, anyone can come up to me and say, like, I've got this and this idea or whatever. And for me, as I know it will be for you as well, you can instantly make sense of what is going to be aesthetically, what's going to work aesthetically and what's going to be cool. But when it comes to yourself, there's all of those voices of, is it going to look shit? Am I going to ruin everything? But I think it's cool.
Oh, am I going to make this beautiful person just look weird and awful? Is she going to be like put on one of those Instagram blogs with the terrible tattoos?
Yeah. It's funny that you actually popped into my head when you said about how much tattoos hurt. I thought about Monday Malarkey and his incessant
it's
memes
genius.
about saying it feels like liquid lava. Oh, lava is liquid, but it feels like liquid fire just poured across
Sounds
your flesh.
about right.
Yeah. Some tattooers are definitely crueler than others, with their application of pain. But yeah, I don't know. That's the thing, is I say that it doesn't mean that some tattooers are better than others. The outcome's going to be different. Some people naturally have a heavy hand.
Yeah, as gentle as you can be, it's still always gonna be horrendous. It's gonna be liquid fire every time.
Yeah, but I was also I was thinking a second ago. I say a second ago, 5 minutes ago, however long ago. In the past, in this conversation. All right, so what I was thinking is that in this day and age, in tattooing in the West, it is quite an important part of it, of the aesthetics of tattooing. But that's the one of the beauties of tattooing, is it can be so many things. It can mean so many things. It can literally, tattoos can be just pretty pictures on the skin. They can be spells, and they can be, marks for various different reasons and so on. And don't have to be aesthetically pleasing in any way. And that's just not even a part of it for some people in their stuff, But obviously, so one of the things I love about the Nordic tattooing, which you are very much a part of, is there's all of the different artists within what we do sort of hyper focus on different areas of all of these things. And obviously, you do a lot of work with the Icelandic magic stuff, don't you?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do, and I've started to make my own journey of it. So I take the older staves that were found in the 16th century, and I make it my own, and I make new designs and make it fit the person that I'm working with, and it's kind of a new thing combined with the older things.
Yeah.
What I really like doing.
Yeah, well, I think that's wonderful, because that's the thing, as well as your, what you do with staves and runes and so on, because you pretty much exclusively tattoo by hand. You don't use machines at all, do you?
No.
Yeah.
like just a chopstick and a needle.
Yeah, but that's the thing as well as doing the Icelandic stuff. You also do a lot of well, I don't really know what to call it. It's almost like pointillism. It's a realism, but in your style. And that there's the two sides to your work in that way, isn't there?
I kind of enjoy doing all sorts. I like to dip my toes in whatever is cast at me. I really enjoy realism in its own way, but as you said, with pointillism, I love doing animals, herbs, plants, and everything in between. I like doing some weird stuff as well.
Yeah.
I've gotten really weird requests, and it's all so fun. And I'm surprised that one of my tattoos hasn't come up on one of those, those weird Instagram sites. But maybe I don't get enough of those really weird things. But I do enjoy it when it comes on my table.
So just doing a shout out to anyone that wants anything really weird, like Hrafnhildur is your lady.
Yeah, just please bring me some weird shit.
But that's what I love though about when you post your work and stuff, you never quite know what it's going to be, and that's that's lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's something that I've always thought is so wonderful about your work. Sorry, I'm just flattering you, but like the fact that you are Icelandic and you work with with the Icelandic culture in that way, and it's not sort of so there's a tendency for some people to sort of fake it till you make it sort of thing with working with runes and so on. Like there's a lot of people that just tattoo them not knowing what the hell they even are, when not only do you know what they are, but it's so natural for you because it is just a part of what you do day in and day out with what you've grown up with.
We started learning about it in primary school. I don't even remember how old I was, maybe 8 or 9. It was very early on, and they taught us about the history of Iceland, and obviously runes are a big part of, when people settled here in Iceland, they would still use runes, and then Christianity came around the year 1000, and people did it more in secret, so I don't know, it has more appeal to me because of that, because people had to do it in secret, and they had to make these staves and this magic in secret, and if you were found with a magic book or script or anything in your possession, you could probably be drowned or killed in some way. So it was definitely tough, and it's very interesting learning about the history of how runes and magical staves were used in Iceland back in the day.
Yeah. And so what I think is so wonderful about them, from what I've looked into as well, is, from the outset, let's say like the Vegvisir, for instance, that's the most popular of them, I would say. And it's a beautiful looking symbol. There's a reason why it's been adopted by the Asatru community as a symbol of the faith. But and again, like you're going to look it up on Google. It's going to say carve this symbol on your forehead, and it will guide you through any storm, and you'll never get lost. Whereas
Viking compass.
Yeah, Viking compass, and the reality of probably what it was more used for in the day was probably a little bit more humble, but still very, very cool. I've wondered what exactly it means. It's the idea of casting it in lead, wearing it between the eyes, and it'll get you through a storm or something.
At least the Helm of Awe, or Ægishjálmur, that was meant to be used, like carved on your foreheads using...
Oh, fuck yeah, I mix them up.
Yeah, it's all good. I don't remember exactly out of my head like how you were meant to cast it, but it was meant to be worn on your forehead to terrify your enemies, and the Vegvisir was meant to get you through, fog and mist, and just get you through rough weather. so you get home. But it was
Yeah,
probably
probably in reality though, just from one farm to another,
exactly,
as
that's what I was
opposed to
just
open
about to
sea.
say. I was like, yeah, it's probably for those farmers that went up on the mountains to check on their sheep or something to try to get them home, and that's probably how it was used. It was not like great Viking warriors that were like ship sailing through the rough seas. It was mainly the Icelandic magical staves were mainly used by farmers, because that's basically what Iceland consisted of. It was just farmers.
Yeah. Well, I got that in common with you as well. Wales has been mostly farmers as well. Well, saying that, everywhere was mostly farmers in a way. It's just that in the past, the warrior cultures and stuff has always been a very small majority of an aristocracy at the top, or someone that's just basically living a parasitic existence off farmers. So
Exactly.
yeah, in Iceland and Wales, lots of sheep. So lots of jokes about shagging sheep as well.
Yeah, I see lots of similarities between. Blah, blah. Let me start again. I see lots of similarities between Wales and Iceland, as you've probably seen when you've visited.
Yeah,
It's like you can see that it was mostly farmers, but maybe in Wales there was more of like castles and things like that, and you're maybe more ready for wars.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot more scars of all of that sort of stuff in Wales because, well, we had to contend with England. Obviously, we lost historically, but yeah, sort of Scandinavia doesn't really have castles in the way that well, Britain and a lot of Europe does. But it's always been very different, hasn't it? The population, Iceland's population used to be a hell of a lot higher before the plague, and it never really recovered. So that's sort of very different to think about. Like, I'm not obviously that would have been like the mid 1300s or early 1300s, but that changed the whole world. But like Britain, I say the whole world, it changed Europe especially. But like since we're talking about Wales, Wales definitely recovered from it, but Iceland,
It was a good thing for Iceland. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but out of all the storybooks that I've read about the Black Plague coming to Iceland, is that it killed off a lot of people, but the people who were left behind, all of a sudden they could afford food. They could afford to live comfortably, and so I don't know. It was definitely a blessing in disguise for the remaining people. And I'm sure they felt pretty guilty about that, but at least now they had food in their bellies.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with with Britain in that way as well. It was obviously because it's horrible to say that things improved after it in some ways, but it did. The the middle class couldn't just completely enslave the lower classes anymore. I say the middle class. The upper class couldn't just completely enslave the lower classes anymore. They had to kind of buy them a little bit more, and the quality of lives went up and so on. But still, like, I mean, I can't bloody imagine what that would have done. So I, as I live in Llandudno, my hometown. But the next town over the hill is a place called Deganwy, and there wasn't a single survivor left over from the plague there.
That's really rough.
Yeah, again, it would have opened up a lot of land for people. They would have had a lot more space. But maybe, I mean, I don't know how it is in Iceland, but I know in Norway they still were calling like farmsteads and so on. They would call the ghost farmsteads. I don't know the term for it, but there was a name to imply that they hadn't been repopulated after those events. The Oseberg burial, that where that mound was in one of these places. So it was one of the reasons the ship wasn't ever dug up, because it was considered as cursed, and if you go in, you get the plague.
Oh no. Yeah, there's actually a ditch and near my friend's farm in the east side of Iceland, where I'm going to take you one day.
Nice.
And you cannot bury anywhere around there because there's still people, like there's mass grave, which is like 5 people, but it's still considered mass for the population of Iceland at that time. But like, yeah, you can't dig there because they died of the Black Plague. And if we dig it up, things might go south.
Yeah, bad luck at the very, very least.
I think that's crazy. You can still mess things up with a Black Plague. Just don't go digging in your backyard.
Yeah. I actually don't know about this. Is there a chance that some infection can still come out of it? Or?
Yeah, I guess so. Like that's what my friend said, at least, that the virus just it just hibernates, and if you dig it out and it comes in touch with the air or like a new host or something, then you can get the Black Plague again.
Oh, I don't like that.
No.
Well, I have to say
it makes the wilderness pretty scary.
Oh, I'm not sure if that's fake news or not, but either way, I don't want to do it.
No, let's just keep it safe and not dig around.
Yeah. Saying that though, I do really want to go digging around, like in my area. There's so many cool things that they're not allowed to dig up on, around the Great Orme and stuff, because of this one bloody flower that's endangered, and there's only 3 or 4 of them in the whole world, so no one's allowed to dig on the whole Orme because of it. And they know full well where some of these ancient sites are, so I'm just wondering if I could do some flash excavation.
Are they not
find golden treasure?
Are they not waiting until they get better equipment like they are in Norway? At Mikkarsblot, all those mounds there, they're just waiting for their equipment to be better so they can x-ray mounds properly without ruining things.
I hope so. I hope that's the case. But bloody hope so. But I haven't heard anything about it. I just sort of feel like it's been swept up under the rug because it's a pretty place and no one wants to do anything with it. It's wonderful because it's just captured in time. But I want to know what's in there. I mean, it's actually one of my ambitions with, when I helped come up with the idea of Northern Fire, that maybe one day, if it ever got enough of a surplus of money, that we could start to fund archaeological digs and things, or surveys at the very least. You know what I mean?
Well, if you want, I can bring a shovel next time I'm in Wales.
Let's fucking do it.
Yeah. I'm super down.
Yeah. So, I think we should go back to tattooing.
All right.
Right. So we talked a little bit about, you are very open to doing stuff outside of your comfort zone and stuff, and you are known for that, which is kind of wonderful because that's one of the things, if you get pigeonholed in doing one thing, then you're stuck doing that. But so you tell us a little bit about how you tattoo by hand then.
I put a needle on a chopstick and I poke the skin. No, I'm kidding. How do I do it? My main thing that I really like to do is to draw on freehand, and obviously that's what you do as well, like almost exclusively. And it just makes everything flow much better with the body. I do use stencils from time to time, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
As you know. And I don't know, I really enjoy discussing what the person wants out of the tattoo. What, like, if they're just searching for something aesthetically pleasing, or if they're searching for something deeper, if they're searching for magical aid, or just if they just want something pretty, it's fine. But it's nice to just sit down with your client and just see what they want and work from there.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have seen you in action, and, because you are very, very sort of easygoing and easy to talk to. So that's half the battle, to get people to sort of open up and to be able to express comfortably what it is that they want to have tattooed, and not feel peer pressure to go in one direction or the other.
Yeah, definitely. I want it for myself that I can always back out of a tattoo. It's not that I do it, but I want to have the option to do it. I don't want to feel pressured by my tattoo artist to get something that I'm not really feeling. I think trust plays a big part of it, and that's why a discussion is always better. Like, so the client can express themselves completely, like what if they're not feeling anything about the design or if they were thinking about something else. I think it's much better that the client says it beforehand rather than regretting something later and maybe, going around saying that they just, didn't really feel saying no
Yeah.
and they just wanted to be polite or something. So I think just discussion is so important about the tattoo session, and just feeling each other, like getting to know each other beforehand. It doesn't have to take long. It can just be a 5-minute conversation. It can be a half an hour conversation, and just seeing how you connect, like what you both want out of the tattoo session.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's for for me, it's one of the things that's really difficult when people ask if they can discuss ideas over the internet. And I pretty much just say there's absolutely no point. You can tell me your ideas of what you're thinking. You can show pictures if you have existing work in the area of skin and so on. But until that human connection is made and you can sort of make the connection between minds and you can read the person, because when, that's one of the things that's difficult over this is that, me and you are talking over Skype, and we are talking with our faces and our hands as well as verbally, and that's what has to happen. When you're trying to do that with someone about an idea of a tattoo, and again, it is so important to read those signs of when, because some people can be too agreeable for their own good in these situations. When if they're not completely happy with something, you've got to be able to try and read it to see, like, because obviously I have zero quarrels if I've just spent however long doing a design and someone's like, I actually want you to move the whole thing left an inch. That's something that should definitely be said, because they're the person that has to live with it forever.
Yeah, it's their design. It's not you're the artist, they're the canvas, but they walk out with a piece. And I completely agree.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't do consultations over the internet, and I find it very hard for people even to walk in beforehand, before the tattoo appointment, to have a consultation, because I don't feel like we're both relaxing enough, just like speaking for 5 minutes and then they're rushed out before I go to my next appointment or something. I want to have plenty of time, like even if we don't end up doing the tattoo, just sitting down with your client, you're both relaxed, you just have a coffee or water and relax, instead of it's coming in, getting rushed. You don't really get to know the person that way. And I also agree with the internet, like it doesn't work. I have a handful of clients where I can go like, oh, what were you thinking about having in the next session? Like, oh, I'm not sure, like maybe a flower or a stave. It's like, okay, do you want me to design it for you? Like, sure. And I know I can do it exactly how they would like it, because I've gotten to know the person over time.
That's what I do like about your ethic towards this, because I think you're on the same page as me. Is I always aim to set out to be the tattooist that I would like to go to, because I've got scars all over me of examples of tattoo work that is how I think it should not be done, and so on. I literally, like, I was about 21 and I had this one done on like a band on the top of my right arm, and it's so funny because, like, when I think about it now, I did exactly what I it's one of my pet hates, which is so obviously I'm going to have to explain this in great detail because I can't show anyone listening. There's a couple of things that that always make me laugh. So, so obviously, like when you're drawing the design on the skin, or you're putting a stencil on whatever you do, you say to the person that's that's having it on, like, okay, I want you to just stand up and just relax, just have your arms at your side, and then people all of a sudden, they go from this, relaxed posture to twisting their arm almost a full, 90 degrees or something. You're like, is that how you hold your arm? I'm like, I think so.
I don't know how to stand.
Yeah, I've completely forgotten how to be human. So I must have done exactly this all of those years ago, 10 years, not 10 years, but 5 years before I became a tattooist or something. So he put the design on weird, and then he scrubbed it off, and then he put it on again, and I was like, I don't know. So then he put it on a third time and said, like, look, that's it, that's as good as it gets. Do you want it or not? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. So now it's definitely... It's got that mark that I was standing like one of those people twisting my arm.
Showing off.
Yeah. I still like it though. I still love it actually. But it is funny to think that, I become what I hated. Or the other way around,
Well, I do really enjoy looking at your collection when we're having a drink. And just seeing, the years of you tattoo apprenticing and, all those moments in between. It's really fun.
All those terrible moments on myself.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, my legs. It literally starts off terrible from the ankles and slowly gets a little bit better as it goes up.
Yeah, I don't have that problem, luckily. When I started tattooing way before then, I couldn't even afford, regular food. No, I'm just joking. I couldn't afford tattoos. It took me ages to save up for my first big one. That was the one that got me into tattooing. So I'm actually lucky that I don't have collection of little stamps here and there, because I would have awful stuff. The things I was into when I was around 18 and before then, oh my god.
Yeah, same here.
I just cringe at the thought that I would be covered in song lyrics, and nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's just the song lyrics I liked back then.
Yeah.
But it would be so bad.
No, I know what you mean. Sadly, I do have I have some of those memories still on me. And as it is my very first tattoo, I still love to pieces, even if it is getting swallowed up by another design now. But it's still there. It's still a part of it. Someone that I really, really respect once said to me that, even if the ink gets incorporated into something else, and whatever, it's still a part of your journey as an individual of having tattoos, because he thinks of it all as like he definitely has that sort of ancient approach to it, which I have adopted. The idea that it's a part of your story for better or worse. And I guess in some ways that's something that people have to come to terms with, is that they don't always like who they were in the past or whatever. But I'm not saying you should have to live with that burden forever, but having that ink underneath something, if you're going to incorporate it into something else or even cover it, it's still kind of nice in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just some of us are lucky enough to I don't know, maybe start to be able to afford tattoos when you're better, like a little bit more steady in your life and in your taste.
Yeah.
But there's always options. You can either have it as a part of your journey, it's really beautiful, or you can just change it to something that you maybe maybe you recognize it a little bit better when you look in the mirror.
Yeah. And because I will also say on this, I did experiment with having a tattoo lasered off. My first tattoo I loved. The second one was a Grim Reaper, and it wasn't a fantastic idea at the time. It had meaning. I'm not going to go into that, but I will say that when she did it, she did a smiley face under the hood instead of a skull, and I was devastated. So I had the hood coloured in, so it was at least a bit more dark and foreboding. But I still didn't really feel very connected to it, so I got it lasered off, and I had 3 sessions on it, and I don't know if it's just me. I know some people it's fine for them. But for me, it was fucking horrible. On the last session I had, I was itchy all over my body for about a month and a half, and it was nasty, and I was worried it was just never going to stop. Just it was that thing, I'd just scratch my hand, I had an itch, and then 10 seconds later it stopped burning. So
Yeah,
so I'd never.
I
I personally don't like it.
I've heard that lasering is horrendous. So, to all the people who are listening right now, I will just say do your research beforehand, because you want to avoid getting lasered.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, and it was painful to have done, but it really did feel like I had lava under my skin afterwards. Well, it wasn't for me, but I don't know. Like that's the thing. If anyone doesn't have tattoos, once the ink is in your skin, like, and once it's healed, it usually doesn't take very long. A week, 2 weeks, a month until it's completely down. Then you don't even notice it at all if it's done right.
Yeah.
And if it's a bit heavy, then it can feel like braille when you get a bit warm. But maybe that's something you want to go for.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. It happens to the best of us, and from time to time it will get really irritated and really raised and really horrible.
Yeah. I do have that with bits and pieces as well in places. I don't know why you're looking at me like that.
Yeah. No, we had to do it.
Yeah.
We had to do it this way. It's it's just like this tiny part of the finger that just didn't want to, like the ink just didn't want to go in. But sometimes it gets hot and angry. But it only lasts for about 3 days or so.
Yeah.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Oh, it only lasts a lifetime.
It's there forever.
Yeah. But so where would you like to see your career go in the future, tattoo-wise? Do you have any like dream projects that you want to try and do?
Definitely. I would absolutely love to do more big pieces, and I have been thinking about picking up the machine, just to kind of go in the direction of, for example, Colin Dale. I look up to him so much. And the way he does hand poking is he often uses machine for the lines, and then he does the shading with dot work or like hand poke. And I think that would really simplify things for the envision I see in my head, like what kind of work I want to do in the future. And I just need to start traveling again, and I need to get the right people to come to me to do it. But it will take time, and I'll probably have to give people examples of what I'm thinking about, drawing it beforehand.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like it will happen in the future. But with tattooing itself, for me, my dream is to actually move out of the city here in Iceland. I would really love to move to a small town or even just a farm outside of Reykjavik, not too far away. And my dream is to open up a little shop. And it doesn't even have to be a tattoo shop. It can be a little nice cafe with lots of little handcrafts from artists all over. It's like just from Northern Fire and everything. And maybe have a little tattoo studio corner that people like my friends like you and others can come and visit me at. And Seubo will be working there as well, my fiance. And it's my dream. And I'm hoping I will see that in the next couple of years, or at least within 5 years. So we'll see what happens.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, would love to have you as the first guest.
Yeah, count me in. I bloody love Iceland. I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed my trips over there, and it was a real privilege to get to have a tour of you and Sigurbordi, and when we went to the museum of magic and all of that.
For everybody who comes to Iceland, they should definitely go to Hólmavík
Yeah.
to visit the Witchcraft Museum. That's another thing I would really like to include in the little shop. I would like to have a little corner dedicated to witchcraft, just like a little museum. So a mini museum in South Iceland. And I already have the right people lined up that can help me out with getting old and rare books and information about witchcraft that is not common knowledge. So I am really looking forward to making this idea into reality.
Yeah. And maybe just how the Penis Museum in Reykjavik has donors lined up for to donate the dicks to it. Maybe just like making the necropants, you can get people to don their skin to be made into future necropants as well.
Well, that is the part of the deal with Necropants. You actually have to make a pact about doing it beforehand. You can't just take a poor sucker and skin his trousers off. You just have to get his permission to do it.
Yeah.
So, Sean, do you want to...
You know what? I don't think...
If you die before me...
well, I don't think I'm the right size, but you're more than welcome to try.
Well, they fuse to your own skin, so it's all good.
Yeah, I'm a bit taller than you, so either you cut them off at the ankle, or you just have a lot of loose skin at at the feet.
Well, have you seen my butt? I think it's gonna be fine.
All right, yeah, let's give it a go. I'll sign the paper. Show me where to sign.
Yeah, you can do the same if I die before you. But I don't have a scrotum, so I'm not sure how it will work.
Well, you will do. You will do.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you
Maybe
just
it's better to have a coin purse than a scrotum purse.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not providing the coin as well, though. You're going to have to find that for yourself.
That's to be stolen from a poor widow. You need to find a poor widow somewhere with a nice coin to steal.
Well, widows do usually have nice coins. That's how it works, right?
I do believe so.
So just for people that don't know exactly what we're talking about, can you tell us how the magic of the necropants works?
Yeah, so the stave in the book, the Sorcerer's Creed, it tells a story of necropants, and basically what you're meant to do with the necropants is you're meant to make a pact with your best friend, or it doesn't have to be a best friend. It can just be, somebody annoying from the village or something. You make a pact with them.
Someone with the same size legs.
Yeah, hopefully. But, I don't think that's necessarily needed. I think, because with the magic, it's all like, it just fits like a glove, So you're meant to make a pact with somebody that when they die, you can flay their skin from the waist down and inscribe the magical stave onto, how do you say, like below the belly button and above the bikini line, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like nice and fancy. You're meant to inscribe it there. You're meant to steal a coin from a poor widow. You're meant to put it in the scrotum. And then, do some flippity-floop, recite some, magical spelling, and put the trousers on. And they will fuse to your own.
I love that. That's the most technical thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, flippity-floop. Then they will infuse with your own...
Once thou hast adorned the trousers, thou must flippity-floop and say magical words.
Abracadabra, flippity-floop. Yes, exactly. So,
lovely.
they fuse with your own skin, and from then on, your scrotum will always be filled with coins. And that's it.
Wow.
The end.
And they all lived happily ever after.
With coins in their scrotum. I don't know if that's necessarily really comfortable to walk with, just like... Pew, 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 pew. I don't know.
Yeah. You've really got to scrape off all of the fats, otherwise it's really going to start to smell, especially in the summer. Not that it gets particularly hot in Iceland, but still.
Do you have experience with this, Sean?
Yeah, yeah. What can I say? Um, just out of curiosity, how are you supposed? Do you know how you're supposed to put on the symbol, like a between under the belly button?
I don't remember if you're meant to carve it or if you're meant to draw it with, it's probably blood from your left nipple and your right pinky or something, something
One of those.
ridiculous, like all those spells
Yeah,
need for some reason. I don't remember exactly, but like before you die, so you better know when you're gonna die. You need to make a pact with somebody else to take them off your hands. Otherwise, you'll be haunted forever. So the way you have to do it is you have to take off one of the legs. The other person has to put one of the legs on, and then you can take it off completely.
yeah.
Because otherwise, you roam the earth and be all miserable with, coin scrolling.
It's so surreal. I love it.
That's just one of the stories of the magical staves. One of the stories.
Yeah.
There's so many really ridiculous spells out there.
Do you know as well about the? I say, do you know? Of course, I know. You know, it was there was a little thing about it at the museum as well. The butter stealing creature thingy made out of the rib.
I'm thinking which one you're talking about. Are you talking?
It's something roughly along the lines of you get a rib of a dead man or something you get a rib of something dead, and you wrap wool around it, and then you make a cut on the inside of your thigh, and you're supposed to start to suckle it, until eventually the thing on your leg turns into a little nipple, and then it starts suckling, and then it turns into a creature, and you can train it to go out and steal butter from your neighbours.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about. I'm just, so used to having those in my life that I didn't even think about it. I have one on my thigh right now.
Bothersome creatures.
Yeah, that's why I always have butter in my fridge.
Yeah, but what do you think's the trade-off? I mean, because it just seems a bit counterproductive when you really think about it, because you're going to have to. It takes energy to produce milk, especially if it's coming from somewhere as peculiar as your leg. So then the butter is just going to get turned into milk. So you're losing out, really. It's only the creature made out of the rib that's really winning in this one. Do you know what I mean?
I guess when people are starving, they do the craziest shit.
Yeah, I guess.
But this creature, you have to do something to kill it off. I don't remember exactly what you do, but if it becomes too big and horrible, it will just start sucking on your thigh nipple until it turns raw and starts bleeding, and it's just, horrible description.
No one wants that.
Yeah, but you have to kill it in some specific way, so, it doesn't just kill you in the end.
You know what? I actually have a space on the inside of my leg. I think either you're going to have to just tattoo a little nipple there, or even the whole creature, like, just living and suckling on me, and hopefully I'll get some milk from it.
I would really, really love to do that.
What am I talking about? Butter.
We can also tattoo some scrotum coins on your scrotum.
Maybe just a widow's coin. Just on.
I'm like, can we have the Queen on it? No, the British Queen.
I think in reality we'd have to do one of the ancient Iron Age British ones, with one of the weird horses. Ironically, after everything we're talking about, these horses are usually depicted as having udders and squirting milk as well. So, yeah, all of the juices. Let's do it.
That's very fitting. I think if we stretch it out as well, we can do some very nice details. You
know what? I wasn't joking about doing the thing on the inside of the leg, but I'm really not sure about getting that one.
No, me neither. Let's do it. I'm super down.
Maybe just
wait until you get it.
If I could have it on the leg so it's close by, so when I press my legs together, the coin touches it, and then that's close enough, isn't it?
Oh, we have so many plans.
I know we don't need to talk about what we're doing on you. We've still got a lot of tattooing to finish off your work that we began all of those moons ago.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it and dreading it at the same time, as
Yeah.
with all my tattoos.
Funnily enough, because you are quite well known for doing hand tattoos, and you have made it quite clear that you are after my pure virgin palms. I do think every now and then, it would be kind of cool to have something on my palms, but I don't know.
It's so
I
naked.
know they really are. I mean, I used to like that, but now I'm starting to think, yeah. Again, you start tattooing.
Well, you've tattooed my palm. I think it's only fair that I tattoo yours.
We'll see. I don't know. That's one of the few places, because I have actually, I ripped off the skin on my palm on a climbing frame once, and then I had to go to the tattooing like half an hour later, and I just sprayed alcohol all over it before putting gloves on, and it was. I remember thinking that was one of the most painful things I've ever done. Oh. I was, dancing and screaming on the spot. So I imagine the idea of going through that. I mean, that was literally the whole palm all at once exposed to alcohol. So I'm guessing it's not going to be quite as bad, but it was quite horrific.
It sounds really horrible. Yeah, you could just remember when you were creeping towards my palm where I just shouted at you.
Yes.
Just stop it. Wasn't ready yet, but yeah. So I can only imagine how it's gonna be.
We'll see. Maybe I'll be brave enough one day. So, as well as having a couple of bits and pieces on Northern Fire, you and Sigabuddy have an online shop that you are running from Iceland as well. Could you tell us a bit about that too?
Yeah, we started an online shop to keep all our wares, because obviously it's easier for us to just deliver things straight from Iceland, and we wanted somewhere where people can actually look at it and feel free to browse. So I was very excited to open up an online shop, and yeah, you can actually check it out through my website.
Yeah.
It's habbanerotattoo.com.
And you can find Habba Nero or Hrafnhildur on Instagram and Facebook as well as on the Northern Fire website as well. So there's many paths to find it.
Yeah, just make sure to do Habba Nero tattoo, because otherwise you just get a bunch of chili peppers.
Nice. Well, I guess. I'm actually just going to say that like some of the things that are on your shop is like you and Sig both have some wonderful bits of pyrography. You gave a couple of bits to the Northern Fire project, like of ravens burnt onto bits of wood, and I got to say I was so bloody sad to see those actually sell, because I did hang them up in the studio for a brief while, and I just told myself like, oh, you'll do more, and then I will see more of them in the future, but I think I'm just going to have to bloody commission one of them off you because they're so lovely. Or
I'll just give you one, Sean.
I mean, I wasn't hinting, but I won't say no.
Yeah, it's all good. I heard you loud and clear. Coming right up.
All right, well, we'll do a swap then if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I'm always up for one of your wonderful items as well.
Oh, thank you. But I do think it's wonderful to see other artists doing bespoke items and stuff as well, and not just churning stuff out en masse. It's nice to have, because as was, I know that you will also have that thing as well of like you will be learning every one you do and progressing in your sort of artistic expression.
It's I can't keep my hands to myself whenever I just sit down. I can't just do nothing, and whenever we come together we always sit down and do some things, like whether it's painting or doing some leather work or anything else. You know it all too well as well. You just can't keep your hands still.
I don't see the point.
And I think that's really wonderful. Yeah, exactly. It's really wonderful. And for people who are interested, in our wares, it's really good that you can actually share it with other people.
Well, I very much look forward to seeing your next project with pyrography as well as your posts.
Likewise.
Awesome. Well, Hrafnhildur, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in person, hopefully next year. Not too late.
Yeah, I'll see you in Iceland, and we'll do something really fun.